So, today we're diving into the inner workings of the US political system. It's really fascinating stuff, wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. Yeah, it absolutely is. So where should we start?
Well, it's a constitutional republic with a system of checks and balances, and it
Right.
follows a federal structure.
So that means power is divided between national and state governments, yeah?
Exactly, exactly. And we have three branches of government, the legislative, executive, and judicial, that work together to create and enforce laws.
Mm-hmm. And the US is a representative democracy, so citizens elect officials to govern on their behalf.
That's right. It's not a direct democracy where everyone votes on every issue, but we choose people to
Yeah.
represent us.
So let's talk about the Constitution. It's the foundation of all this, written back in
Exactly.
1787.
Exactly. It's the supreme law of the land and outlines the structure of government, the rights of citizens, and the powers of each branch.
And then there's the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments, protecting individual freedoms like speech and religion.
Right. It's amazing how those principles have endured over time, don't you think?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, moving on to the three branches, let's start with the legislative branch or Congress.
Sure. Congress makes laws and controls government spending. It's bicameral, meaning
Right.
it has two houses, the House of Representatives and the Senate.
The House has 435 members based on state population, elected every 2 years, yeah?
Exactly. Exactly. And the Senate has 100 members, two per state, elected every 6 years.
So the Senate provides more stability with longer terms, right?
Exactly. That's a good way to look at it. Congress has significant powers like declaring war, regulating commerce, and impeaching officials.
Then we have the executive branch headed by the president, correct?
Yes, yes. The president serves as both head of state and head of government, elected every 4 years with a two-term limit.
The president signs or vetoes laws, commands the military,
Exactly.
negotiates treaties, and appoints officials.
Exactly. A lot of responsibility there.
Definitely. And then there's the judicial branch, which interprets laws and ensures they follow the Constitution, right?
Right, right. The Supreme Court is the highest court, with 9 justices appointed for life.
They can overturn laws or executive actions if they're unconstitutional, can't they?
Exactly. Exactly. It's all about checks and balances.
But sometimes it seems like the checks and balances don't prevent all issues, you know?
What do you mean?
Well, political gridlock is a big problem. The two-party system can lead to legislative deadlock and things don't get done.
Yeah, that's true. The system can be slow, and sometimes it's frustrating when progress is hindered.
Exactly. So maybe the system needs some adjustments?
Perhaps, but it's designed to prevent hasty decisions. The debate and compromise are essential in a democracy, don't you think?
That's fair. So what about the role of state and local governments?
Well, the US has a federal system, so states have their own governments controlling areas like education, police,
Right.
infrastructure, and elections.
And local governments handle zoning laws, local police, and public services, right?
Exactly, exactly. It's interesting how power is distributed across different levels.
Absolutely. Now, the Electoral College always seems to cause debate during presidential elections.
Definitely. Presidential elections are every 4 years, using the Electoral College system, not a direct popular vote.
Candidates need 270 electoral votes to win, but some argue this system gives smaller states too much influence, don't they?
Yeah, it's a controversial topic. Then we have congressional elections every 2 years, which determine control of the House and Senate.
Right? And state and local elections happen at different times in different states, correct?
Exactly, exactly. The two-party system dominates these elections, with Democrats and Republicans leading the way.
Democrats are generally liberal, supporting government programs and progressive policies, right?
Right, right. And Republicans are conservative, favoring limited government and traditional values.
Third parties exist, but they rarely win major elections because of the winner-takes-all system, which makes
Exactly.
it tough.
It's tough for them to gain traction. It's like trying to join a game already in progress, you know?
Yeah. Haha, yeah, that's a good analogy.
And remember, the checks and balances are supposed to prevent any one branch from gaining too much power.
Right. Congress can impeach the president and override vetoes, right?
Exactly, exactly. The president can veto laws and appoint judges.
And the Supreme Court can declare laws unconstitutional, can't they?
Exactly. It's like a game of rock, paper, scissors, but with government powers.
I like that comparison. It's pretty
Yeah.
accurate.
But even with these safeguards, there are still controversies. Gerrymandering is a big issue, where political parties manipulate district boundaries for advantage.
And voter suppression concerns like disputes over voter ID laws and election security are also
Right.
significant.
Plus, as you mentioned earlier, political gridlock can hinder progress.
And Supreme Court appointments are significant since judges serve for life, impacting laws for generations, which
Exactly.
raises concerns.
Exactly. The stakes are high with each appointment.
It's a complex system with many moving parts.
Absolutely. The US government is designed for stability, representation, and accountability, but it faces ongoing debates and calls for reform.
Understanding how it works empowers citizens to engage in democracy effectively,
Yeah.
don't you think?
Definitely. It's important for everyone to be informed and participate.
So maybe next time we can discuss ways to improve the system?
Haha, that would be quite the conversation.
Yeah, but it's worth discussing